This is the Chiropractic Marketing Podcast, an on-demand talk radio show that covers internet marketing best practices for chiropractors. I'm your host, Dr. Patrick McNamara. Welcome, everyone, to episode number 41 of the Chiropractic Marketing Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Patrick McNamara, and today we're diving into the third episode of our Search Everywhere Optimization series with a question that should keep every chiropractor awake at night. When someone asks ChatGPT, Claude, or Perplexity to find me a good chiropractor near me, will your practice be the one they recommend? Because here's the reality. This is happening right now, thousands of times every day, and most chiropractors have absolutely no idea whether they're being recommended or completely ignored by these AI assistants. Today, I'm going to show you exactly how AI engines decide which chiropractors to recommend, and more importantly, the specific content strategies that make AI assistants choose your practice over your competitors. But first, let me share an experiment I conducted just last week that perfectly illustrates why this matters. I tested AI recommendations across 15 different cities by asking ChatGPT, Claude, and Perplexity variations of the question, can you recommend a good chiropractor near city who treats specific condition? Of course, I swapped in each of the 15 cities I was testing, and for the specific condition, I rotated through a list of 10 common issues chiropractors regularly treat. What I found was fascinating and honestly a little alarming for most chiropractors. In every single city I tested, the AI assistants consistently recommended the same 2 to 3 practices out of dozens of options. And here's the kicker. These weren't necessarily the practices ranking number 1 on Google. For example, in one major metropolitan area, there's a practice that ranks number 1 on Google for chiropractor in that city, but never gets mentioned by any AI assistant. Meanwhile, a smaller practice that ranks around position 4 to 5 on Google gets recommended by AI assistants almost every time. Think about that for a minute. Traditional Google rankings don't guarantee AI recommendations, and AI recommendations are becoming an increasingly important patient acquisition channel. This is the new reality we're living in. AI-powered search isn't coming in the future, it's here right now, and it's already influencing how patients choose healthcare providers. According to recent studies, over 40% of people now use AI assistants to help with healthcare decisions at some point in their research process. And here's the kicker. That number is growing by about 15% every quarter. So the question isn't whether AI search will affect your practice. The question is, are you going to be proactive about optimizing for it, or are you going to wake up one day wondering where all your new patients went? Let me explain exactly how AI engines decide which chiropractors to recommend. Unlike Google, which primarily looks at things like backlinks, keyword density, and technical SEO factors, AI engines evaluate content very differently. When someone asks ChatGPT, can you recommend a good chiropractor near Denver who treats athletes? The AI isn't just looking for pages that mention chiropractor Denver athletes. Instead, it's analyzing the context, depth, and helpfulness of your content. It's asking questions like, does this chiropractor actually understand athletic injuries? Can they explain complex conditions in ways patients can understand? Do they provide comprehensive, accurate information? Are they demonstrating real expertise through their content? Is their information current and evidence-based? In other words, AI engines are rewarding practices that are genuinely helpful and authoritative, not just those that know how to game SEO algorithms. This is actually great news for chiropractors who are passionate about patient education. But it also means you need to think about content creation in a completely different way. Let me break down 5 proven ways to optimize your chiropractic clinic for AI. These are key content strategies I use with my clients that make AI assistants recommend your practice. Strategy number 1, create comprehensive condition-specific content. AI engines love detailed, authoritative content that thoroughly explains health conditions. But here's the key. You can't just write a generic 300-word blog post about back pain and expect AI to recognize you as an expert. You need to create comprehensive resources that cover conditions from multiple angles: causes, symptoms, treatment options, prevention strategies, and what patients can expect during treatment. For example, instead of a basic post titled Treating Sciatica, create a comprehensive guide like The Complete Guide to Sciatica, Understanding Causes, Treatment Options, and Recovery Timeline. In this guide, you'd cover what sciatica actually is in patient-friendly language, the most common causes and risk factors, how to differentiate sciatica from other types of back pain, conservative treatment approaches, when to seek professional care, what to expect during chiropractic treatment, exercises and lifestyle modifications that help, recovery timelines and realistic expectations. AI engines recognize this type of comprehensive content as authoritative and are much more likely to recommend practices that provide this level of detail. Strategy number 2, write in natural conversational language. Remember, people are having conversations with AI assistants. They're not typing keywords, they're asking questions like they would ask a friend. My lower back has been killing me for 3 weeks. What should I do? I think I herniated a disc at the gym. Can a chiropractor help with that? My daughter is a gymnast and keeps getting neck pain. Should I be worried? Your content needs to mirror this conversational tone. Instead of writing for search engines, write like you're explaining things to a concerned patient sitting across from you in your office. AI engines are much better at understanding natural language than traditional search engines, so content that sounds conversational and helpful performs better than keyword-stuffed articles. Strategy number 3, demonstrate local expertise and community connection. AI assistants pay close attention to local relevance when making recommendations, but it's not enough to just mention your city name a bunch of times. You need to demonstrate genuine local expertise and community connection. This might include writing about health issues specific to your area, like how humidity affects arthritis in Florida, or altitude impacts certain conditions in Colorado. Discussing local events you participate in or sponsor, mentioning partnerships with local gyms, sports teams, or healthcare providers, creating content about staying active with local outdoor activities, addressing workplace injuries common in your area's primary industries. When AI engines see this level of local integration, they understand that you're not just a generic chiropractor, you're a local expert who understands the specific needs of your community. Strategy number 4, showcase real patient outcomes and case studies. AI engines value evidence of actual results. They want to see that you don't just talk about treatments, you actually help patients get better. Now, obviously, you need to be careful about patient privacy, but you can share anonymized case studies that demonstrate your expertise. For example, recently, we treated a local marathon runner who was experiencing persistent IT band pain that was preventing her from training. Through a combination of soft tissue therapy, corrective exercises, and biomechanical analysis, she was able to return to pain-free running within 6 weeks and successfully completed her goal marathon. These types of stories help AI engines understand not just what you treat, but how effective your treatments are. Strategy number 5, keep content current and evidence-based. AI engines prioritize current, accurate information. If your website is full of outdated treatment information or techniques that are no longer considered best practice, AI assistants won't view you as a reliable source. So what do I recommend? Perform a simple audit every 6 months. Simply spend an hour reviewing your main condition pages. Look for any statistics that seem old, treatment descriptions that might be outdated, or information that contradicts what you're currently telling patients. Update those few key pieces, and you'll be ahead of 90% of your competitors who never touch their content after it's first published. The reality is that keeping content current and authoritative is an ongoing process that requires dedicated attention. When done consistently, it signals to AI engines that your practice is a reliable authority worth recommending to their users. Now, I know what you're thinking. Dr. Mack, I barely have time to see patients, let alone audit content and track research studies. I get it. This is exactly why most successful practices outsource this type of ongoing optimization to specialists like DCRank, who can monitor industry developments, update content regularly, and ensure everything stays current and evidence-based. In closing, let me give you a simple test you can do right now that helps you determine if you're currently being recommended by AI assistants. Open ChatGPT, Claude, or Perplexity, and ask specific questions about chiropractors in your area. Try variations like, can you recommend a good chiropractor in your city? I need a chiropractor near your area who treats your specialty. What should I look for in a chiropractor in your city? See if your practice gets mentioned. If it doesn't, that's your wake-up call. But here's what's even more important. Pay close attention to which practices do get recommended and ask yourself why. What are they doing differently? What kind of content are they putting out that makes AI engines see them as the go-to authority? Understanding this can help you start thinking more strategically about how to make your own content more AI-friendly. Here's the bottom line. AI search isn't going away. If anything, it's going to become more dominant. The practices that start optimizing for AI recommendations now are going to have a massive advantage over those that wait. Think of it this way. 10 years ago, having a website was optional for chiropractors. 5 years ago, being on Google Maps was optional. Today, being visible to AI assistants is rapidly becoming non-optional. Let me give you a practical starting point. This week, I want you to do 3 things. First, test your current AI visibility using the questions I mentioned earlier. Document which practices in your area are being recommended and what makes them stand out. Second, identify your top 3 conditions or specialties and start planning comprehensive guides for each one. Don't try to write them all at once. Just start with one. Third, audit your existing content for conversational tone. Are you writing like you're talking to a patient or like you're trying to impress a search engine? These 3 steps won't transform your AI visibility overnight, but they'll start moving you in the right direction. And if you're realizing that you need help navigating this new landscape, that's exactly why we developed our Search Everywhere optimization approach at DCRank. We don't just optimize for Google, we optimize for everywhere patients actually search today, including AI assistants. You can learn more about how we help chiropractors dominate both traditional and AI-powered search at DCRank.com. That's DCRank.com. In our next episode, we're going to dive into something that directly supports AI optimization, the local SEO tiers that help you scale your marketing from survival to dominance. We'll discuss how to build a systematic approach that grows with your practice and adapts to changing search trends. Because here's the thing, AI optimization doesn't replace traditional local SEO, it builds on top of it. And understanding how to layer these strategies is what separates the practices that thrive from those that merely survive. All right, that wraps things up for today's episode. Thanks for tuning in to the Chiropractic Marketing Podcast. Before you go, remember to subscribe to my podcast on your favorite platform, whether it's Apple Podcasts, Audible, YouTube Podcasts, Spotify, or others. I've got you covered. If you need to see a full list of supported platforms, simply visit chiropracticmarketingpodcast.com. Last but certainly not least, I'd love to hear your thoughts on Apple Podcasts. Your reviews not only help build awareness of what I'm talking about, but also give me a good indication of how I'm doing. Be nice, be fair, but definitely be honest. I would greatly appreciate it, and so will future listeners. Thanks for listening, and I'll catch you next time.